Hey, what's up, guys? Chaz Borganzo here. Another What's Next. Back to the land of wokeness. Yes, the wokeness, just like the mafia, keeps pulling you back in and pulling you back in. Can't get away from it. It's like stupidity, from the dementia administration. It's just ongoing and always fun. But anywho, we're going to take a look at a couple of things. One, legislative, and the other, the end of an era. Let's take a look. This comes out of Blaze Media. Louisiana State Senate votes to override veto of bill that would bar real men from girls' school sports. The Louisiana House would also need to override the veto in order for the measure to become law. The Louisiana State Senate has voted to override Governor John Bel Edwards' veto of legislation that would block real males from competing on school and college sport teams designated for females. Haven't we been down this road before? South Dakota, Texas, Mississippi, Oklahoma. The legislation's prohibition, targets school athletics that involve state funding. The Associated Press reported that the state Senate's 26-12 veto override vote fell strictly along party lines, with Republican lawmakers voting to back the measure. Quote, "Your opportunity is to do what you've been led to do by your own conscience," Republican State Senator Beth Mizell said as she asked lawmakers to vote in favor of overriding the veto. Without protection for women's sports, will no longer exist. The AP had also noted that GOP lawmakers in the state house will need to secure support from some Dems and independents to reach the number of votes necessary to successfully buck the governor's veto. John Bel Edwards, the state's Democratic governor who vetoed the measure, has served in the post since 2016. As I've always said repeatedly, when asked about this bill, discrimination is not a Louisiana value. And this bill was a solution in search of a problem that simply does not exist in Louisiana. Really? Really? Really, John? It doesn't. So you're telling me your state's been completely excluded from the woke stupidity and real science in your state? Yeah, I beg to differ. Even the author of the bill acknowledged throughout the legislative session that there wasn't a single case where this was an issue. Quote, Edwards said in a statement last month regarding his decision to veto the legislation. Quote, "Further, it would make life more difficult for trans children who are some of the most vulnerable Louisianans when it comes to the issue of mental health." Well, at least you admit it. It's a mental health issue. It is a mental illness, and it needs to be dealt with as such. So I give you points for that. We should be looking for more ways to unite rather than divide our citizens. And while there's no issue to be solved by this bill, it does present a real problems that make it more likely that the NCAA and professional championships, like the 22 Final Four, will not happen in our state. For these and other reasons, I have vetoed the bill. Wow. Kind of like South Dakota's governor, who did the same thing. The reason why she said that the bill should be revised, because she was afraid that the lawsuits, were coming, and yeah, they will come. And, she's worried about that more so than real science and actual girls getting hurt by men thinking they're women running around in their sports. Just saying. Issues pertaining to those who identify as trans continue to remain a top cultural contention, both in the U.S. and abroad. The issue is currently featured on the global stage as trans weightlifter is slated to compete against real women during the Tokyo Olympics. to 43-year-old athlete, a man, Hubbard will compete for New Zealand. My thoughts. Just like I mentioned prior, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Texas, a number of states, especially in the middle of the country, not the edges. You don't, because they're knuckleheads on the edges, but in the middle of the country. And I'm really, really surprised about Louisiana. But then again, you have a Democratic government, which of course you got to scratch your head at a overwhelmingly red state electing a Democratic governor. But it's neither here nor there. And once again, worried about what collegiate and professional sports will do. Worried about what the media thinks of them, instead of relying on the science, faith, actual biology, actual real world. He's worried about, from a PR standpoint, how it looks on him. Well, it's going to be overwritten. They're not going to need Democrats. Tap a couple independents. They'll be fine. They're going to override the bill, and the bill's going to become law, and he will have to sign it. He will have no choice but to sign it. He can't veto it again. So let the chips fall where they may, but in the end, Louisiana will be a better state for it, because it allows women's sports to be women's sports, and basically tells men who think they're women, kick rocks and pound sand. Now, we move on to the end of an era. Now you might think to yourself, okay, Ray, this is Sports Illustrated. What is the issue? Hey, look, that's a woman on the cover. Well, don't let your eyes deceive you. No, that's not. That's a man. This comes out of Breitbart. Woke Sports Illustrated promotes trans man as a swimsuit pinup. Yes. Finally, a man graces the cover of Sports Illustrated's coveted swimsuit issue. It's about time. I am tired of the oppression, the patriarchy, or should I say, the matriarchy. And it is about damn time that they put a man on the cover. Unbelievable. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. But here it is. The owners and editors of Sports Illustrated are betting that a trans man on the cover of their 21 swimsuit issue will change heterosexual attitudes, shift the magazine's public image, and help their imminent initial public offering, IPO, on Wall Street. No, and no. Quote, I'm so happy, honored, and humbled to share that I am the first trans woman, man pretending to be a woman, let's be factual here, to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated. Trans model Lena Bloom said on Instagram. The issue also includes special covers for tennis ace Naomi Osaka and rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Oh yes, what a trifecta. The magazine is owned by Authentic Brands Groups, whose website declares the mission of ABG is to evolve, transform, reimagine global brands through initiative business models, powerful storytelling, compelling content, and immersive experiences. AKA wokeness, identity politics, box checking, and all the above. The editorial production of Sports Illustrated is outsourced by a separate company which posts a woke tagline on its Twitter account, opening eyes, speaking truths, changing minds. Closing eyes, speaking falsities or lies, and closing minds. In a LinkedIn post touting 21 choices, editor MJ Day declared her support for a progressive-led reorganization of America's culture. Quote, I've never been more proud to have these three women, bullshit, excuse me, cover the 21 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. We will continue to be the change we wish to see, not you wish to see because you don't want it. Day's, quote, changes we wish to see comment suggests that Day wishes to displace young women as sexual ideal for the many male readers of Sports Illustrated who you just lost, while America's society is transformed by mass migration, mass illegal migration, and corporate influence over commercial culture. On July 6th, Renaissance Capital reported ABG, which owns and licenses various consumer lifestyle brands, filed on Tuesday with SEC to raise up $100 million. However, the deal size is likely a placeholder for an IPO, which estimated could raise $1.5 billion. Yeah, because this has nothing to do with money. Trans model Bloom is eager to join with corporate chills to help promote chaotic sexual diversity instead of the nation's subtle sexual norms, such as weddings. Generations of Americans have gradually, carefully developed these norms to balance their competing and complementary desires and abilities of real men, women, girls, and boys, while also making room for sexual minorities. Quote, I dedicate this cover to all the ballroom femme queens past, present, and future. On Instagram, she added. He added. I'm sorry for a split second there. I lost my head. This historical moment is important to fake women like me because it allows us to live and be seen. Many men like us don't have the chance to live our dreams or to live long at all. Really? Really? I hope my cover empowers those who are struggling to be seen, feel valued. Let me be a messenger guiding us to the future of respect and appreciation for all men, all forms. Wow. Okay. My thoughts. At the end of the day, the fact of the matter is that the death of an era, the end of an era. Sports Illustrated has sold millions of swimsuit covers of this particular copy for decades. From Cheryl Tiegs to, I think Beyonce was on the cover at one time. Oh my gosh. Wow, the names just escape me right now, so I do apologize. But thousands of women have graced the covers over the years. Women who are in shape, because Sports Illustrated is about men who like watching sports and watching people in shape play sports. But once again, wokeness, like a cancer, has infiltrated Sports Illustrated and basically has vomited all over a once great sports magazine. Now it's trash. It's absolute trash. And to me, literally, just like GQ talking about Kaepernick, Sports Illustrated has lost its entire man base, real men base, by putting this garbage on the cover. Sorry. I see facts, I call it out. Just me. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Wow. Peace.